Welcome back for another video here. I wanted to walk you through my setup that I took on Friday and kind of explain how I take my trades so that it could potentially help you in your trading journey. But first, before I get started, I do run a free Telegram group and I do periodically go over my morning analysis there. I trade the New York session. You can check that out. Link is in the description below. And a quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading is risky. Most people do lose money. This is simply for educational purposes, and I don't make any promises or guarantees that anyone can achieve a specific result. So let's look at the charts here. Let me just kind of walk you through my thought process. And again, I'm going to do this raw and have as little editing as possible, simply because I'm not a great editor, and that's that. All right, so I'm going to delete this one here because I did not take that there, but this was the position I took here on Friday morning. Now I'm going to walk you through the analysis so that you can get an idea of how I trade. Every single day I trade the New York Open session from about 9:30 to noon, and sometimes I'll take a trade in the afternoon if the setup presents itself. So what do I like here? Well, my strategy is really, really simple, and you can probably get the whole thing just from this video right here. Now, I'm going to name two things here. One, fair value gaps, or gaps, whatever you want to call them. I love those because price tends to gravitate towards those and tends to have some kind of reaction. Not all the time, but some of the time here. The other part is, or the other piece here is levels. Now I'm going to share with you how I draw these levels, and they are very simple as well. So let's get into this here. So on Friday, I saw a 4-hour fair value gap, and I marked it up right here. So I am going to mark it up on the chart here so you can see that visually. Let me just go ahead and do that here. So I'm going to put in a 4-hour FVG right here. All right, and then I am going to do the bar replay because I want to go back and I want you to experience what I was thinking at that time so that you can potentially use some of these learnings for your own benefit as well. All right, so I saw this 4-hour fair value gap here, and this is where I was looking for price to get to or have some kind of reaction out of. We didn't quite get there on Friday, but we came lower, and where I had a trade, I'm going to show you what that looked like. So I like to trade. I like to do my analysis off the 1 hour. Sometimes I'll jump to the 4 hour because I'm intraday trading. I'm not really interested in what's happening, days and days before. All right, let's head over to the 1 hour now and take a look. So I'm going to drop back down to the 1 hour now. And I am going to bar replay this because I want you to see what I was looking at or on Friday here. All right, so let me come back to the 9th, and we'll come back to about 1 o'clock in the morning here. All right. So I'm on the East Coast, so I'm asleep during this time here. And when I woke up here, this is what I saw. So I'll just kind of play it bar by bar. All right, this is about 5 o'clock in the morning. When I woke up, here is what I saw. All right, so a couple things. I sit down at my computer about 5 or 6 in the morning. I take a brief look. The kids are getting awake. I got to get them off to the bus. And here's what I saw. I saw a 1 hour fair value gap right here. Okay, this right there. Now, I wanted a trade out of here, but it had already broken through. I wanted this trade here, and I had an idea that price may push a little lower, so I had a level right here like so. All right, I have one right about here. This was my invalidation point, simply because if price gets below here, then I no longer believe my idea will work. Okay, and I'm drawing my invalidation here because of two wicks. There's a wick right here. All right, and there's another wick on the other side of this here. All right, so I thought to myself, if we come down through this fair value gap here, if we fill this gap, which we did, price may try to come down here, and if it gets below this, then I just wouldn't do anything. But it may come down just a little bit further and have its reaction and maybe try to come up and get this 4-hour fair value gap here. That was my whole idea based on my trade on Friday here. All right, so now let's take a look and see what actually happened here. So what I'm doing now is I'm dropping down to the 1 minute, and I'm trying to decide whether or not I actually want to get in this position because I'm having a little internal conflict because we already pushed down below the fair value gap here, and I'm aware of inverse fair value gaps where this may become bearish. But it's not, but in my mind, I wasn't sold on bearish because of this wick right down here. right here. All right, I wasn't sold on a bearish move unless we cracked below that there. So now if the 1 minute is where I execute my trades, and this is what I was looking for. I was looking for some kind of confirmation here. I like to use divergences as my confirmation here. And so as price pushed down, you can see right here, I'll just go bar by bar right here. I'll circle it. This was the divergence setup right down here. All right, this was oversold divergence for me. We're making lower lows on the Fu Manchu indicator. Any oscillator is fine. It really doesn't matter what it is for me. I like this one personally. Lower lows here, and then over here we had higher lows here. So we did have divergence there. One thing I can tell you about divergence, for me personally, I love it because I feel like it gives me the best possible entry when it's setting up in these oversold and overbought areas here. If it's cracking further down, typically it's not going to work out, but this ends up giving me the best possible entry. And then what happened was, as price pushed forward, I wanted to get my stop. Do you see this line right here? I'm going to move it around, this purple line on my screen, on your screen. I wanted to make sure my stop was below this at least 12-ish or 13 pips, okay? Because I wanted to be protected if I come back out to the 1 hour, all right? I wanted my position, this is what it looked like. I wanted my position right here that I'm now entering, all right, off of the 1 minute chart. I want this to be protected down here. And I'm comfortable with a 13 or 15 pip stop. If it's 15 pips further, I won't take it. All right, so this is my setup here. Let me come back to the 1 minute now so you can actually see what happens here. I obviously win, but this was my entry here, and then I'll show it to you on my challenge prop firm account here as well. All right, so this ends up going over like so. And what happens is I actually hit my profit target. There was some CAD news at about 8:30 on Friday, and that's when this thing jumped up and hit my profit target here. So as it's playing forward, there it goes, and I'm going to just stop it right here. Straightforward setup, right to my profit target, come back out to the 1 hour, and you can see that very easy here. All right, right there. Now, I wasn't interested in the short that particular day. I like to take just one trade, 1 or 2 trades. If I have a winning trade, then I'm just simply done for the day, and that's it, and I move on to the next day. So I hit my TP here. Now, because I hit my TP, I would have had to see something would have just had to jump out to me, like completely just like slap me in the face and say, this is a trade that you have to take. Everything is perfect here. Let me just get this to the live market, or where we are here. It is the weekend. So now, what am I looking for from here? All right. Well, to be very honest, things can change between Sunday night and Monday morning when I do my analysis here. But if I were to look at the market right now, this is what I'm seeing. I'm going to come out to the daily here. All right. I'm going to give it, and I'm going to just kind of give you an overall idea or analysis of what I'm seeing. And let me just let me share with you that trade on my prop firm challenge so you can see that real quick. All right, it is right here at the bottom. This is one of my prop firm challenges. It is in phase 2. Guys, I started this in November, and I said I was going to get this done. It's now phase 2, and I'm really close to getting it passed here. Right here at the bottom, that was my EUR USD trade that you just saw me take, or just saw from 2.9 right there. That was it. That was the win. All right, back over the charts here, and I want to just go through with what I am seeing now here. All right, so on the daily, all right, we've already come down just about these lows here. All right. So a couple of things here. I think we're either going to try to possibly come up and get the 1 hour fair value gap, which I'm going to show you now, or if we come up to this 4 hour, have a little reaction and then continue moving towards that. So let me just take a look here so I can show it to you what I'm seeing. All right. Above here, okay, right here, there is this gigantic imbalance up here. Now, I do apologize if I get any terminology wrong. I'm just sharing how I trade and what works for me personally here. So this is, if you want to call it a fair value gap, if you want to call it imbalance, if you want to call it a gigantic bar, it doesn't really matter. All that I know, or all that I believe, is there is a possibility that price likes to come up and fill this. Okay, not all the time, but sometimes again here. So a couple of things here. I'm looking for price to possibly navigate into this 4 hour fair value gap. and I'm looking for a reaction here. Now, I never know how big that reaction is going to be. It could be very big. It could be very small. So if there's a reaction out of there, there could be something I may be interested in there. But it could either react there, come down like this, and then continue on up. If we get up here, all right, I really think price is going to just kind of come up here, maybe take a little bit, come down, and then it's going to work its way up to fill a lot of this imbalance here to the left. And so if I was taking a swing trade position or looking at swing trading, I would have aligned myself a bit lower to come up and try to fill this imbalance up here. That's what I'm looking at. Now, if price does come down lower, all right, if price decides that it's going to just kind of come up here off this 4-hour FVG, and then it wants to navigate lower and come lower, I will be watching for other fair value gaps to develop on the 1-hour time frame to try to look for something out of those, or possibly get involved in one of those positions there. So this is kind of my idea here. My overall bias is, again, at some point in time, I think we're going to come up here and get this imbalance. I don't know when. Again, it could try to come down here and get these lows here and come down a little further, and then eventually come back up to these areas here. But time will tell. And again, my analysis will likely change because I do it intraday and I do it on Monday morning after Sunday night has already happened and formed a lot of these FVGs. Now, if you liked everything you saw here on my analysis, inside of my Discord, I do have a course there as well where I do go over my morning analysis live Monday to Friday. Most days. There are some days that I simply just don't do it, only because I have other commitments such as kids getting on the bus and family events here. So this is what I got here today. I am going to keep progressing in this prop firm phase 2 challenge here, and I'm doing that just by letting price come to me. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and do remember to check out my Telegram group there here. Thanks for watching.